Hello Chipsters, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. Today we've got an update on the Chevy. Now, let me just put that there with a load of other boxes. Not a huge update. We've got lots of plastic cleaned. I put a coat of white primer over the top. Thanks for the suggestion, Tom. Old Tom, Mr. Rambler 69, gave me a load of suggestions. I really don't think, Tom, I can swim with that amount of concrete tied around my neck, and I can't take any long walks off any short piers because we don't have any piers here in the Midlands. We're in the middle of the country, no water. So, but no, honestly, thanks Tom for the suggestions. He didn't exactly tell me how hard it was going to be spraying white on top of white plastic with not the best light setup in the world, but I got there. It did what I needed it to do, which was find the blemishes, tell me how well my filling had gone or not. If you guys remember, I bought this a while ago, well, early lockdown. We've had that many lockdowns, I forget which one we're in, but I think it was number 1 lockdown. Why am I doing this? It's just in the past. Yeah, it was number 1 lockdown, and I got into Tom's car building a while back. I've always said to Tom and to you guys and any other one who's listened, what I love about cars is I like the custom type paint jobs, but I really like pickup trucks. It's just how I am. And this one, if you remember by the last video, I'm dedicating as a tribute to the great country singer Joe Diffie, who sadly passed away last year with COVID. So he sung a great song called The Pickup Man, or Pickup Men. And as I've driven pickups most of my life, whether Land Rover 4-wheel drives, some have had hard tops on or whatever, or I've converted them into put resin hard top on to keep tools safe and things. But on the whole, I've driven pickups, tipping pickups for carrying wood chips and firewood and dragging wood chippers, all that type of stuff. And I like pickup trucks. So, but I really like these American ones because I think they're full of character. And when I say that, I'm more talking about your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, early 70s type of thing. And I love them either in as is condition. So yeah, being restored, but classic type paintwork on them and same steel rims and all that stuff. But I really love custom pickups. I love the type of paintwork that Tom can do, and although he's done pickups, obviously we all know him more for drag racing and hot rods and things like that. So this was going to be a practice for me, and then I got cold feet because I was finding myself useless at filling seams. I was always having either rough filler showing through or great canyons that I thought were filled until I put paint on them, and so I got cold feet, as I often do on some of my models, and it just stopped in a box. I'd started cleaning them off. Tom had told me how to get rid of the chrome, and that's as far as it got. And it coincided with me wanting to. I was listening, as I've said to you guys before, I like some of my country music, well, a lot of my country music, especially if I am going to put anything on when I'm working, I quite enjoy that. And I was listening to some Alabama and that one of their videos had got Dixieland Delight one, had got a lot of the pickup trucks on and stuff. And of course, you look down at your box and think, oh, what the heck, go and give it a go. And Joe Diffie came along on the suggestions, and I thought, I haven't heard this one for a while. I put it on, and then I just happened to notice in the comments Joe Diffie had passed, and I just thought, well, I've had a lot of smiles out of that song, the Pickup Man song, but I love obviously John Deere and stuff like that. But I even thought, do I wait and try and get some John Deere green paint just to paint my pickup truck? But I'd already got the paint for this, so it's going to be what it is. But it will be a tribute to him. And I'm rambling all over the shop as always. But when we go down to the bench in a minute, I just wanted to show you how I've done so far with the filling and the sanding. I have obviously sanded away some of the white. I'm looking over there, you can't even tell. It just looks like as it come out of the box, but there is white primer on it. But it's all going to get degreased and then re-primed again, because the bonnet hasn't been primed, and obviously where I've been messing around with it and sanding away, it all needs redoing again. Made the usual gaff stuff ups, which we'll come and have a look at in a minute. So join me at the bench before I ramble on any more without showing you anything, and we'll have a look. Right guys, thanks for joining me at the bench. We've got our back body, or rear tub, whatever you want to call it. Can we see? It's a problem. Now, my good Mara Paul from Military Modeler Paul, he always says he puts a white styrene sheet cut up into his sprue goo. Well, being a novice, I didn't know any different, and when I made sprue goo a while back, I just put some sandy coloured tan sprue in there, so you can tell my sprue goo. That still doesn't look as if it's going to be filled enough, but we'll see. These pieces here obviously attach, and as you can see by the line there, I've still got a bit more to go on that. Do that tonight. I'm going to have another prime tomorrow. I have tried dry fitting all this, and it does dry fit on okay at the moment. You just know when I've got paint all on it, because I'm going to paint them all separately. I've left the tailgate off for the moment with the old Chevrolet embossed back to it, only because I'm just thinking of painting the wood. Might be easier to have that off. So that will be painted as wood. And obviously underneath as well. So that's the rear tub. Let's put that back on here. So not a great deal to show you. I was just quite chuffed how my filling had gone, to be honest with you. Yeah, that one doesn't look too great shakes, but I don't think the rest of it that bad. Again, right cock-ups, I reckon that's for the normal rather than the custom version filler cap. And I don't really, at this point now, I just want to make sure all the paint goes on well. I don't mind this seam here, because that would have been a seam in real life, but that's fairly decent. And that's just with sprue glue inside and out. I haven't gone to town on that inside, because a lot of it's going to be covered. Keep knocking the blooming, I wish I hadn't put these on too early. Keep knocking those off. This is a very slight, when I say it's not warped as in the bulkhead's warped, but it's just the bonnet doesn't fit completely straight, but I'll show you that in a minute. In fact, I'll show you that now. So again, filling wise, I don't think it's gone too bad. For me anyway, this is my first car. In fact, let's face it, I'm not exactly experienced modeller, but that's my first car. Truck, whatever you want to call it. But oh, and there's a front. I don't think I've done too bad at the front. That looks like a ridge. It's not. It's because it's got sprue glue and filler in places. Again, I don't think that's too bad. Might need a bit more down there, but all that's been covered anyway, but I'll still try my best. I was really chuffed with this. This comes in obviously the flat part, and then the sides, 3 parts of the sides, so you're always going to get a seam. I don't think that's gone too bad along the top. In fact, this is where the tan sprue glue has helped, because you can actually see where you are. But that's not too. When I rub my nail over it, that's not too bad. What I've done is put some very thin strips of styrene. I wish I'd just put one big thick strip now, but I didn't want it to push out too much. But what I found was there were slight gaps, and there are still slight gaps. But what I've also got to do tonight as well, I've done some filling and sanding already. I had to put a little fillet in there, a plasticard, and I've put some filler on. It just needs a bit more, just to obviously bring it up to the side there. Let's just put her on. That's Tom now telling me how hot it is in Florida. So there's our bonnet on. There's our little fillet, because that was the only thing that was detracting from it. There was, if I hold that down, there was a larger gap there just at the base, and a smaller gap which you could have probably got away with on the other side. but I have put some shims of plasticard again. But you can see there is a slight gap. I don't know if I'm going to really get that much better as a novice without starting to make trouble for myself, if that makes sense. As I say, I have added some strips of styrene, but because it was hard to do one strip straight across because this bulkhead went in and out. I'm pushing it up there at the moment, so. But I think realistically, for my skills at the moment, that's probably about as much as I'm gonna get out of it. What I'm hoping to do on the painting front, I was thinking of, get that back a bit, is this raised portion on the bonnet here and where it goes to the sides. I'm going to have that black and all the rest of it like that copper metallic I showed you. Now the black isn't a metallic, it is just as far as I know, a smooth black. So there'll be copper and non-metallic black there. Obviously all this will be copper. I didn't want chrome on any of it, so that's going to be normal copper colour. But I thought this extra piece on top of the roof, I thought I'd do that black as well. And then what I'm thinking, just to touch and all the bumpers are going to be black as well. But what I thought was the back body would be, I did think of doing the wheel arches black, but I think, you know, with my masking skills, it's probably a bit much. And also I could do a bit more copper on show, so all that will be copper. But I was wondering if I've got the skills to mask off the inside here and paint the inside of the tub and the top black, so you'd have literally like a line going down. Obviously this would be wood, natural wood. So just a thought. Oh yeah, and the chassis is our chassis. There's the odd bit left off. The engine, there's no point showing the engine at the moment. I'm not obviously doing any wires. I'm not that skilled yet. Now my biggest stuff up, I mean, this is a problem. I as I say, you guys know I've got head problems, and I don't know. I do seem to struggle, as I've said to you. I can read a book, and I'm reading that painting book I did a show on. So why can't I process instructions? I have no idea. That just could be me making excuses for myself. But this is the standard suspension unit and not the custom one. Now, I have tried putting the wheels on just to see if it affected the stance of the truck, but they were that wobbly. It wasn't really giving me any one wheel had fall off or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see how it affects the stance. I'm into it now. I'm not going to try and remove that. Not a chance. But no, it's all been primed and whatever. Obviously all the exhaust has been primed, the prop shaft's been primed. I thought of doing the actual chassis of the actual ladders of the chassis. I thought of doing them in black. I'm not sure whether to do in black or copper. And then I was going to have the diff at the back here, the back plate. I was going to do that in, because the wheels are going to be in like it's not gold. It is. I suppose it's like a real pale greeny gold. And I thought of doing that at the back the same, doing the prop shaft the same. Yeah, we'll come to that. And I'm not putting any. When I started this, I was going to do that much conversion, chopping, shunting, cutting, and again, the problem is with me, my dreams far outstrip my abilities. So coming down to earth, I was going to see where I could put wires in, and I was going to relocate the batteries, and you name it. I was going to do it after seeing all these custom vehicles I've got, which, if I remember rightly, I think I've done it before, but I'll put I've got a playlist of custom pickup trucks and I love cab overs as well, and feel free, I'll put that up on the end of the video and have a browser then, might get you interested in pickups. But yeah, I think just keep it simple, just try and get the paint job looking halfway decent, and if we do that, then we've won for this project. You know what I mean? I've learned something, and hopefully I can bring it forward on another build. I have got Tom himself brought me a a pickup truck, sent it over to me, and that's going to be my tribute to him at some stage. We could all be about 110 if COVID lets us before it gets done, but I've got exactly, I know what I want to do with that, and I was actually looking at some colours last night for it as well. But that won't be, I've got a lot of other stuff to do yet, but so I've got another pickup truck to do, and when that one's done I shall probably buy another one. As I say, I've got this idea of dedicating pickup trucks to my YouTube buddies, just all my Maras, and so there's lots of personalities out there that would really fit a pickup truck. So you all know you are, and if you don't, you're going to get a surprise. But it's going to take a while before I do that many pickup trucks. But hey, I like pickup trucks, so I'll go down the list year by year. We'll get there. You should all be covered in another 20 years. Right, guys, waffling as always, rambling as always, but it's one of Gav's videos. That's what I do. Thanks for indulging me taking a look. Oh, if you're wondering, Gav, you paint soldiers, and we haven't seen a painted soldier in a lifetime. Well, I am doing the day job when I'm not doing these videos. So you've got these Saxons 18mm. I've got 8 more halfway through, which I'm going to get back onto, and they are ready for a varnishing and then a basing. So you'll be seeing those, and I've got a 28mm unit, if you remember the plastics, which I just haven't got round to. I'm having so much fun with Chevys. I haven't put the colours on the on that unit yet, but I'll do that later on today. And then obviously, as you know, the colours, these paper colours, they need to be painted around the side just to stop the white bit showing through. So you'll see that in a couple of days. Those Saxons you'll probably get to see Monday, Tuesday next week, if not a bit earlier. There will be once, I think, I'm going to be priming this tomorrow, and at the same time, not that I'm going to be shooting it through the airbrush, but I've got some seat texture. It's going to be, where have we got me, Gav? Come on, here we go. We've got this, these seats are just plain. I've got all plans again for doing lots of stuff. That's actually the base there, so hang on. So that's the bottom. As you can see, there's not a lot to them, but I thought, again, I'd got all plans. I was going to do different things to them that I'd seen on real custom jobs, but let's walk before we can run. So yeah, I'm going to put some texture on these. I thought if it's too thick, too heavy, because it's going to be supposedly leather texture, and that's my idea, and I'm going to put that on there, on the door cards, on the side of the doors, on the roof as well, inside. So that's going to be all happening as well. And if it's a bit if it's too chunky, you know, I'll and it's a charcoal one, I believe, I'll see if I can sand it down slightly. But yeah, there we go, guys. Thanks a lot. I'm actually it's just like the horse one I did. Put it off and put it off, and now I'm really enjoying it. That is until I've got to do any serious painting and I stuff it all up. And in reserve, I've always got Victor's big hammer. And it could yet go the way of Victor's Ferrari yet. We'll just see. Look after yourselves again, guys, and we'll catch each other very, very soon on another video. Cheers.